Hello, fellow booktubers. This is my shelves 4 through 7. In the background, they're playing Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. But anyhow, returning on, this is my Feist collection that I have told, I think it was Jelly Beans Legs about it, and Hannah, Craving Books. Anyhow, this is his entire collection of his series about Pug and the rest of I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the name of it, but it's 32 book series. Next on my second shelf of this is considered my fancy book shelf would be the Harper series, all 15 of them. Kingslayer, Sorcerer's Stone, that's by James. A couple McCrinnon books, The Iron Tower, and a couple of the other ones. And then there's John Mackerel, which I read all these three of them, 3-book trilogy. And then I got Kate Elliott, Spirit Guide, Shadowgate, and Trader's Gate. I say Spirit Gate was the first one. And on the second shelf, I have a couple of Forgotten Realms books that deal with the old games. Cattier, Gail Greensboro, and Shadowlight, and Road to Underfall. Then I got let me see, the King of Roland's, I think it's Roland's Kin, and it's the first 3. I don't have the last one. I got the last 2 of Alan Cohen's books here. Got a couple Gail Z. Martin books, and the Summoner and the Blood King, and those are the first 2, and Dark Ladies, was it Chosen? And then I have the 3 trilogy of the Dungeons and Dragons, the Tainted Sword, the Dragon's Tome, and the Fall of Magic. And then I got 2 Margaret Weiss and Hickman's books, their Bones and Dragons series, and I got her book 2 of the Bronze Chronicles. And then if I can get one of my booktube cats to move, I've got the entire Mercedes Lackey Vondermeer series, the majority of them. I showed you the other 4 at the other side of the 5 series. And then I got another booktube cat, will not leave, Vondermeer's Companion, which briefly describes all these books. And then my which would be considered part of my to be shelved, I've got some Elizabeth Moon, a little bit of Zettel, I think that's how you pronounce it, a little bit of Kate Elliott, this odd Portuguese book, which probably Jelly Beans Legs Maria would like. Is it what I have here? I have James E. G. Anderson, some Ann Bishop, some Stackpole, some Jim Butcher, some little bit of Kate Elliott, some Sarah Douglas, and Sarah Ash, and then some of The Maximum Ride by Patterson, Terry Goodkind's The Law of Nines, then some Ann Bishop and Coming of the King, and then Writer's First Call, or First Writer's Call, which is a first perspective book, and then we get to David Drake, who is a local author, and another cat's tail, tip of a cat's tail. They got Weissman's, I think this is like Rose of the Prophet, kind of like a church book in the fantasy world, like the Catholic Church kind of thing. And then you got the Dragonland series, at least 3 or 4 of them. And then I've got these 2 odd books at the end, The Birth of the Firebringer and Dark Moon. And then we've got the Warlock series, made by Christopher Stanoff, the same guy, if I remember correctly, that made the Wizard in Something series. And then it got a trilogy by Gary Graphics, I think that's how you pronounce his name, right there. And Greyhawk series by him and Rose Estates. And then the 4 Circle of Light trilogy, or quadrilogy. And then the Odd Crusader book right there. And then I got David Gemmell. If anybody can tell me about him, that'd be great. Then I got a solo David Eddings book. Then David and his wife Lee Eddings book, Redemption of Althindus, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I've got my weird Morok books. These are just oddities made in the 80s. And then I've got his Iron Sword trilogy, and then I've got some David Duncan. If anybody knows about him, that'd be great if you could tell in the comment below. And then I've got the famous Brian Jacobs books, which talk about talking animals like they're humans. Are interesting. I haven't even gotten in any of these. And I got the Flying Dutchman, which I think is related to that. Then I got Mercedes Lackey's weird books, which are kind of like future in the today's world mixed into the fantasy world. For the most part. Some of them are not. Some of them are, I think, pure fantasy. And then I've got Mel Eldham's Destruction of the Book and Lord of the Libraries. And I think there's a third one in there, but I don't have it. And then below that, I've got a 3 trilogy of the Rift War made by Feist and various authors he picked up. And then I got the Denderlin, I think that's how you pronounce it, trilogy, or Chronicle, like a lot of them by Catherine Kuntz. And then I've got Donaldson. The Ruined Land is basically I think this is like the One Tree series. And then I've got the Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Red. And then Fran Sangenberg. I've got the Book of the Gods Part 1. I think I've got Part 2 somewhere else. And then I've got the Magic series. And Earth Dawn, which is kind of like some weirdisms, just thrown in there like fantasy, sci-fi kind of thing, mostly fantasy. Then I got other more recent Greyhawk books. And then I got the famous Kenneth C. Flint series of Sith and Riders of the Sith. And then I've got S.M. Serling up there, which I have somewhere else, which is like the female, I think that's the woman who wrote those, which is akin to that other books I just mentioned. And that's really about it for those 4 through 7. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care.